afternoon, YouTube. I'll wait to see y'all come on. Good morning, whoever's on here. Who's on here? Paula? No, Paula, you shouldn't be on here because you should be preparing for the hurricane. Oh, alright. Nobody's on here no more.
Mama, I went to 3 different restaurants.
Hey, Devin. I was like, no to what? Hey, Devin. So what are you up to? What are you talking about? You motherfucking asshole. First of all, it's not a lace. This is my actual hair braided. So fuck you, you faggot. What about that? Then who are you talking about? Because I know you ain't. Who are you talking about? Because you're not. Shoot, I know you ain't talking about me. Because see. Oh, okay. Alright. I'll forgive you. This time. You know, people be making comments about things and then, you don't know, they be talking about you. So. Already got a request for Uber Eats. I'm gonna try to stay around the area today. Stone Mountain. I don't know about doing Grubhub. I don't have any blocks with Grubhub. So I gotta see how that's gonna fare out. But my first order is at Stony Wings, which is closer to my house, but I just stopped by Chick-fil-A to get my to eat something for technically it's brunch because I didn't eat any breakfast and it's time to eat lunch. And two, yesterday's service was not that great when I went here at Chick-fil-A, so they owe me my replacement meal because I asked for no butter, no pickle on a sandwich. And for to spend $6.88 or almost $7 for some chicken sandwich and a wafer fry, a large wafer fry and a large sweet tea, that's a little bit high for fast food. But I have to say, Chick-fil-A is one of the better fast food places. But anytime you don't get that impeccable service that they claim to have, well, I would say 85% of the time, the service is pretty good. The only thing I would have to say about Chick-fil-A is, that they need to figure out their parking situation and drive-through situation. Now, they have it where people are supposed to have a electronic pad, and they go to each car and they take the order The order's paid for, and then it's supposed to be a smooth. It's supposed to be a smooth process when you go to the drive-thru. Now, it's nothing wrong with the process they have when they have somebody out there with the pad, and then they taking your order, and then they paying for it, and then you just moving on. But when the drive-thru people's not catching up, and then you have people trying to park, and they blocking people from getting out and driving around to get a parking. That's what is a problem. So I got all these damn matches. That's when it becomes an issue. So let me go ahead and go and get this other order. I'm trying to, let me see, tomorrow night or tomorrow at 1 a.m. Oh, Lord. I wonder, I mean, I know it's traffic. There's always traffic at Chick-fil-A. But I wonder how the traffic's going to be impacted by people coming from Florida Alright, trying to situate myself. God dang. And why is it so hot? It's supposed to be 80 degrees, but it feels like it's 90 something. And I know it's not me going through no change. Hey David. How are you doing? You see I'm trying to situate my dang self. Oh Lord, okay. I got through eating my brunch, which is really lunch and breakfast, because I didn't eat any breakfast, so I ate Chick-fil-A. Okay, that's good. I was concerned, because I know you, I think, weren't you telling me early in the week, you said you weren't moving, or you weren't leaving? So that's good. Is Jacksonville, that's nowhere? Well, no, I guess no, it's not near no storm. Isn't that on the peninsula, I guess? So you don't think the storm is not going to affect Jacksonville? Uh-oh. hate this. See, that's why I hate Chick-fil-A. Every Chick-fil-A you go to is always bad parking, bad drive-through. All the Chick-fil-A's, every single one of them, I don't care which one you go to, they all small. They never have good parking. They never have good drive-through logistics. Even if they did have the people standing there with the mini pads taking your order, and then you, that's just gonna be depends on the wind, and you know, I don't know, who knows what's gonna happen. Right now it is sunny and it is 80 degrees here in Atlanta, metropolitan Atlanta rather. And so far nothing's really is happening. Well, you know, of course, until the storm hits Florida. I guess if we see anything, rain or whatever, that's gonna be what, Monday, not Monday, it may happen Tuesday, Wednesday, in terms of any type of rain and wind. But I did feel a little bit of wind. It certainly kind of feel like a little bit windy when I got up this morning. But other than that, nothing major, you know. I just pray that all those who are looking at my podcast, or if you have any relatives or friends that lives in the Miami area, all those Uber, Lyft, ride sharing YouTubers, Uber Dude, and who else? Paula, not Kevin. Kevin don't live in now. All those who live in the Floridians, I pray that you get safe and everything will be all right. You know, I was just watching what's his name video, Scott, and his real name is Scott, but I can't remember his tag name for I can't remember his tag name on YouTube. But Scott, he just made the videos, the live stream videos, driving around Tampa. Yeah, Uberman Tampa, that's it. You know, I just watched some of his live stream videos of him taking videos around the neighborhood, and oops, what the hell, I ran over. And you know, basically pretty much, you know, he said some people don't look like they're prepared, and some people driving around getting stuff, and you know, of course, the banks are closed, most supermarkets are closed, you know, gas stations are most definitely closed. So, and I don't know, it's like it's a matter of preparing and embracing what happens, you know. I want to say those my Caribbean family, that y'all are, that everything will be all right, you know. Barbados and St. Thomas, Cuba, you know. I know that, you know, all the Caribbean islands are not affected, but you know, most definitely the Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, and St. Lucia and St. Croix and Turks and Caicos, because you know, the whole entire Caribbean, you know, although it may not hit some islands or some areas directly, but if you're still within that same, if you're within that storm, you know, you're going to face damages as well. Even if you're not hit directly, you're still going to feel the effects of the storm if you're anywhere in that path. So to my Caribbean brothers and sisters, y'all stay safe and blessed too. Because you don't really hear too much about people who live in those islands, you know. Now, let me tell you, this is what really makes me so sick. Is that people, you know, here in this United States, they live in, you know, whether you live in Texas or along the borders, you know, people been told a week, they know, you know, they know in advance if a storm is coming, you know, and even if it's 5 days out, I think that in some cases, if you need to move inland or evacuate, this is when it's important to make reservations. If you don't have family members who live in another state that you could go to and visit, or, you know, and stay while you weather the storm, and let's say you do have to go into a hotel or motel, see, that's when you make reservations to a motel or hotel somewhere and plan where you're going to go to evacuate. If you know you're going to, you know, because what's the worst thing that could happen is this: nothing happens, or you stay, then you cancel the reservation and you know, free up for somebody else to make reservations. But it's only so many hotels, motels that's going to have room. And I heard that all the hotels in Alabama, Georgia, and there are no reservations. It's like, I mean, yeah, you could drive all the way to Atlanta, you know, but if you live in Miami, who's going to go 10, 12 miles? You know, I mean, 12 miles. Who's going to go 10, 12 hours? I don't know. I mean, from Miami to Atlanta, that's what, about what, maybe 10 hours, I think. I don't know. And then some people, you know, some people can't make reservations. You know, some people make airline reservations, and some people actually, families make airline reservations. And the last flights, you know, left out of Florida, out of Miami International, and people are going to wherever, you know, whether they have family in New York or whether they have family in the East Coast or whatever the case may be. And I think that it's kind of sad where if you have to evacuate, whether it's by car, plane, people really don't have that emergency fund. You know, they don't have that, let me put some money aside, so if I have to make reservations or if I have to evacuate, you know, if you're going to evacuate and leave your home, or leave if you live in an apartment or a house or wherever, I think that if you live in hurricane alleys, you know, you live in states that you know that every year at the end of July, beginning of August, September, and October is hurricane season. It's always best to have a plan that if something was to happen and you have to drive and evacuate, you know that you always have some place to go. Now, let me give you an example. My sister, when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, and my sister and my niece and nephew, they had to leave New Orleans. Now, they lived in an apartment, but they still had to evacuate. So they had to drive, and they said, okay, who can they go to visit? Now, of course, you know, they always come to visit me and drive to Atlanta, because that's the, you know, really that's the closest state that she would get to. You know, but I live in Atlanta. My grandparents, aunts, uncles, and stuff, they live in South Carolina. So of course, she's gonna drive to me. I'm the closest, you know. And if you have someplace to go, you have family members, good friends, or somebody who could, you know, say, oh, let me go and evacuate and, you you know, do I have somewhere to go? If you don't have money to go to a hotel, at least be able to, you know, have a way to get to somebody. You know, I have a house, and I always said, you know, if somebody had to leave somewhere, or now I'm not talking about got kicked out of your apartment because you didn't pay your rent. Now, I ain't talking about those people, but I'm talking about extreme emergencies where you got to be evacuated due to weather, tornado, hurricane, whatever, earthquake, and you have to evacuate to somewhere. Now, most of the time, you know, hotels it's only so many hotels, motels, anywhere. You know, there's only so many, so it's kind of hard to make plans to stay at hotels and motels. But if you know a storm was going to happen, hurricane, and they said it's going to be catastrophic, I would go ahead, go to the, you know, make some reservations to the nearest motel somewhere, and say, do you take reservations? Make a reservation days in advance, and know what the policies are in regards to reservations, motel reservations. If they say you must be there by a certain time or date, you know, leave and give yourself ample time to do so. You know, don't try to evacuate when the governor of the state says, okay, everybody evacuate, it's time to go. You know, don't do that when everybody is in the is evacuating at the same time. If I lived in Florida, I lived in Miami, and I know, based on what I saw in Houston, that something catastrophic would have happened, I would have made my reservation, or I would have made some arrangements to stay with some family and been left. I would have been left. I would have left maybe 2 days prior. Not even 2 days prior. Let me see. Let's say it happens, they say it's going to hit like Sunday, Monday. I would have probably left days before anybody else had left. I would have been gone way before anybody else that had made no announcement to evacuation. Before the governor even said anything, I would have been gone. You know, I would have had my little bag. I would have had my bag packed, food, whatever I need to take, and I would have been like, I probably would have gone Tuesday. If the storm was to happen, say Sunday, I would have left on Tuesday. Way before anybody else and the highways got crowded or whatever, I would have been gone. Been gone. When I heard that storm was building up and they said it was all the way out in the Atlantic, and they said that storm was up in the Atlantic or whatever, before it even hit the Bahamas and the Virgin Islands, before the storm even hit those islands, I would have been making reservations if I had money to make reservations at a motel, or I would have had plans to say, okay, I'm going to so-and-so, my relative's house that lives in South Carolina or wherever. Way before, been gone, left. But let's say you didn't have any money. Let's say, you know, you just didn't have no money for the hotel. Or, I just can't believe people just don't have family. You know, I just can't believe people just don't have, you don't have no family that you could go to, you know. I don't know. I don't know. I just think most of the time, people are so unprepared in life, in general. You know, have an emergency fund. Set aside. You know, that's what emergency funds are for. And I've always learned that. Keep something for a rainy day. In this case, a storm, a hurricane, something. So that way, you know that when something like this happens, hurricanes and tornadoes, especially if you live in Florida and you live in states that you know hurricane happens every year, every season. Now, sometimes it may hit the East Coast, sometimes it may hit Florida, sometimes it may hit the Carolinas. You don't really know when it will hit. Last year or 2 years ago when Sandy hit Long Island and New York, and you know, it was like devastation in the East Coast. But then something may not have happened in Florida. Nothing happened in Texas or the coast of Georgia. You don't know when things are going to happen. You really don't, unfortunately. But you always should have a plan. A plan, like, if this happens, you know that you could always rely on people to say, okay, if we have to leave Georgia or whatever, do I have a place to go? Now, if something happened in Georgia, let's say some major tornado just swept through Georgia, and trust me, tornadoes do happen in Georgia because it happened years ago. Flooding does happen. You know, a lot of things. I have to say to myself, Teresa, do you have a plan to go somewhere? And I do. I can always go to my mother's house in Goose Creek, South Carolina. I can always go to, okay, y'all, this loud. I know I could go to my grandparents in South Carolina, even though they live like 30 minutes apart. But I know I have somewhere to go. I also know that if I needed monies for things, you know, I don't have a job, you know, I don't have a regular job, but I always said, you know what, just keep some kind of money aside, you know, $1,000 or something, you know, keep something. And even if you can't afford a hotel or motel, and you may not have someone to stay with, I mean, maybe people need to come together. Maybe neighbors need to pair up. Find a partner or somebody that, you know what, let's all put our resources together. You know, you have a truck, and, you know, and I may not, you may not have enough money. Just work together. You know, your close neighbors or something. Or maybe other family members. And everybody pool their money together. Whatever money you got. If that means finding a hotel room, a motel, and you may not have money to go and pay that hotel, shoot. You sit there and you have maybe 2 families. I don't care. If it means you got to put air mattresses and everybody got to share a bed, and everybody get a little air mattress and share a motel room, and, you know, you just looking for shelter, you know, that's what I would have done. I would have said, well, dang, you ain't got no money. I ain't got, you ain't got money to pay for the whole hotel. Everybody put their money together and stay in a room or in a hotel somewhere. Make a reservation to the Marriott and say, okay, you know what, let me get a suite. And you could have maybe, even if you have 5, 6, 7 people in a room, I don't care. Something, you know, I mean, you have to think forward thinking. You think that after Katrina, you think people would have been a bit more prepared when things like this happen. You know, if anybody haven't learned from Katrina, it is 13 years later. You still see people like, oh, they still do, you know, they still going through major devastation, walking to the water. And, you know, that was ridiculous. The people were there in Houston. They're like, well, I can't, you know, that was a little bit, that's a little bit too much. You got an Uber Eats pickup. Thank you. Yep, Kevin Campbell, I'm live. I'm doing Uber Eats, as you see. I'm trying to stay local around the house or neighborhood because I'm supposed to be starting my first day at Amazon out in Smyrna tomorrow morning. Well, not tomorrow morning. Tomorrow night at 1 a.m. in the morning. So I'm gonna do today, tomorrow, and then parts of the evening, and then try to figure out how I'm gonna work this schedule, because it's part-time with Amazon. It's part-time with Amazon, and it's 1 a.m. to 6 or 1 to 5, depending on the workload, I guess. I don't know. I'll find all that out tomorrow about, you know, scheduling, how they have it. You know, are you going to be working? You know, is it a set schedule for, I know it's 1 a.m. for sure. So is it going to be 1 a.m. and the ending time is going to be 6? I know it's supposed to be 5 hours. So I don't know if it'd be full 5 hours, less than the 5 hours. But I know they say if it's more than the 5 hours, they'll tell you if it's overtime. Well, if you have to stay over. So who knows? But anyway, let me mark this order picked up and go to the next and go where this place is. I'll be back in a minute. So don't go nowhere, y'all. All right, I'm back, y'all. Alright, I'm around the house delivering for Uber Eats. And let me tell you, yesterday I had did a delivery to someone who lived right up the street in this from the other subdivision. And I delivered food, and this person was commenting on my car. He says, oh, I love this car. I like the headlights on it. I got me a Kia, but I want to change this, that, blah, 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 whatever, right? Then I found out
turn left on Rockbridge Road.
And he does Uber too. So I said, okay. So I mentioned about the tip option and all that stuff. And I said, well, you know, I said, so then you should know about the plight of not getting tips.
In 1.4 miles, turn right on Norris Lake Road.
And so let me tell you, he was like, oh, I got you. You know I ain't got no tip from that dumb nigga. Sure didn't get not one tip from him. And I said, you know, and it's so funny is I know exactly where he lives. I know exactly where you live. You know, I should post your dang address all over the dang internet, but I ain't gonna do that. You know, how you gonna drive for Lyft? And then I was telling you about, you know, my experience with Uber Eats, and he was saying how he, you know, he making good money, but when he was telling me he was driving, you know, all the way to Stockbridge and going to the airport, I said, well, shoot, you're not really making money if you have to drive from Snow Mountain and go all the way to Stockbridge to pick up, to pick people up. That didn't make any sense. And then I was like, well, how he got something all in Stockbridge in the first place? I would think that he would have gotten previous orders.
In half a mile, turn right.
I would have thinking he would have gotten some previous my issue or problem. But anyway, let me go ahead and follow this dang GPS, make sure I don't miss my turn.